Hello, my name is Naya Hall, and I'm going to be talking to you about myths and facts regarding mental illnesses and disorders. When you first hear the term mental illness and mental disorder, what does it make you think of? Maybe you picture someone like the character Dennis from the 2016 movie Split, who has a dissociative identity disorder and ends up kidnapping three girls before harming them, or a character like Anne from the 2018 movie Hereditary, who, while having an episode, covered her children in paint thinner and nearly dropped a lit match on them as they slept. Both of these movies have a common theme in which they depict people with mental illnesses and disorders as a threat to themselves and others. This is not true and further encourages harmful stigmas against people with mental health conditions. This is not the only common myth about mental health conditions people tend to believe. There are three infamous misconceptions about people with mental illnesses and disorders. The first is that they are violent and dangerous. The second is that children cannot experience mental illnesses or disorders. And the third is that they are too weak to handle stress, let alone a job. In order for us to fight against these stigmas, we must learn fact from reality. So let's begin with the first big misconception, which says that people with mental illnesses and disorders are violent and dangerous as a result of their mental health conditions. However, according to the Canadian Mental Health Association, these claims are not true, and mental health illnesses are not a good predictor of violence. They also state that people who experience a mental illness are no more violent than people without a mental illness. Therefore, someone's potential for acting out violently cannot be accurately measured based on whether or not they're experiencing a mental health condition. The myth that people with mental illnesses and disorders are dangerous to others is also false due to the fact that individuals with severe mental illnesses are over 10 times more likely to be victims of violent crimes than the general population, states the McGilligan Health Insights Group. So rather than being the assailant, someone with a mental health condition might find themselves in a vulnerable position and be taken advantage of because of it. If the society placed more emphasis on the importance of learning about mental health conditions, then there would be less people viewing those with mental illnesses and disorders as unhinged and a threat to society. Now that we examined the first myth to be false, let's switch gears and talk about the second one, which states that children cannot experience mental illnesses or disorders because of their young age. Yet ironically, the McGilligan Health Insight Group affirms that half of all mental health disorders show first signs before a person turns 14 years old and are a real concern. The group says this is a pressing matter because many of the attitudes stemming from the misconception has led to less than 20% of children and adolescents with a diagnosable mental health problems receive the treatments they need. This is a problem since many children with mental health conditions go untreated, also potentially leaving a negative impact upon how they learn and build skills, which can lead to challenges in their future. If mental health conditions were more touched upon in education systems and society overall, then there would not be so much stigma against those with such conditions, which would make it easier for adolescents and older people to seek out and get the treatment they need. Now, let's analyze the final third conception, which says people with mental illnesses and disorders are weak and cannot handle stress or having a job. However, the opposite of this is true because according to the Canadian Mental Health Association, individuals who experience mental illnesses may actually be better at managing stress compared to those who haven't experienced mental illnesses. This is due to the fact that many people who experience mental illnesses learn skills like stress management and problem solving so they can take care of their stress before it affects their well-being. So, as a consequence, people with mental illnesses and disorders are actually better equipped to handle stress than those who do experience any mental health conditions. Also, the notion that it would be difficult for those with mental illnesses and disorders is false as well. McGilligan Health Insights Group states that people with mental health problems are just as productive as other employees, and managers who hire people with mental health problems report good attendance, punctuality, as well as motivation, good work, and job tenure on par with or greater than other employees. This is why mental health awareness is crucial because it can prevent discrimination among peers and in the workplace. Today we went over three common myths regarding mental illnesses and disorders and why they are not true. Many stigmas and myths about people with mental health conditions are false, with no evidence to back these claims up aside from movies, particularly the horror genre, which features people with mental illnesses and disorders as violent and as a threat to everyone's safety, when in reality, they are just as likely to be an attacker as someone with no mental illnesses and disorders. It is also untrue that a child is unable to experience mental illnesses and disorders due to their age, since signs of a mental health condition usually show up during adolescent years. Lastly, despite Lastly, despite claims, those with mental illnesses and disorders can handle distress, sometimes even better than individuals who don't have any mental health conditions. Their mental illnesses and disorders also do not have any impact upon their work ethic. It's important that these misconceptions are addressed and debunked in order to decrease the heavy stigma on mental illnesses and disorders so that people are not scared to seek a diagnosis and treatment for their conditions.